Hey guys, DVSGames here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a comprehensive guide on how to get through the Fire Rift. Basically from the three phases that I used in my Water Rift. First, you want to complete it. Second, you want to go ahead and make sure that you're in the S, SS, SSS range. And then third, you want to have a consistent team that is going to always be at the SSS range, which is 3.5 million or higher. So in the last video, we actually used a team that looked, I believe it was something similar to this. And it was for the Water Rift. So don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be using this in the Fire Rift. Oh, where is he? There he is, Argon. So I believe it was something similar to this. Actually, I can check that real quick. Okay, so we had the Crow, we didn't have the Fran. So in this case, we're going to start out with a team that you start off with Lapis as your farmer in the game. Bella's a very instrumental monster in the early game, and she can be used all the way until the end of mid game. Crow is an amazing PvE monster. I do highly recommend that you 6-star and 2-way both of them. Fran is given to you, and she's very useful. Mav is the only one you kind of have to summon, but I mean, there have been multiple secret dungeons, and I believe there's parts in the guild shop, or I'm sorry, not in the guild magic shop, not the guild shop where you use your guild points. And Rauk is an easily farmable monster. I strongly suggest you 2A him as well. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So let's get into the build real quick. My friend is kind of fast. You can do this on Swift. She doesn't need to be on Violet, so it's a lot easier to get these stats on Swift. And she is just on speed, HP. And we've got 1, 3, and 5 looking like so. The revenge is not necessary, but it does help. Lapis, again, I said in the last video, or the last time that I made a video with her, I believe these are the attack runes that you get for clearing Chiruka remains. And I mean, they're definitely obtainable. These are grinded a little bit, and her artifacts are, you know, here she's got skill 3 recovery, which helps. She's got co-op damage, which helps. And then here, counter attack damage. She's on revenge, so it's good. But not too much else other than that. The Bella on Violent Broken, speed, HP. As you can see, this is old runes. They're not grinded. They're not powered up. 5-star energy rune. Could definitely be something better. But I don't use her very much anymore, so I have this on her. Her skill 3 recovery, additional defense here. See how amazing this artifact is with that crit damage minus 1%. And then HP on this side, additional damage by defense, because that's what she scales on. Damage taken from fire is a little bit less, which is great for this dungeon. The route that we're using is on a violent build. Again, you can do this on a swift or a fatal build. Makes it a lot easier to obtain the stats. But he's on speed, crit damage, and attack. 1, 3, and 5 look like so. None of his runes are grinded. None of his runes are gemmed and optimized. Here, there's nothing super amazing. He's got additional damage by attack, which can help if he procs into his scratch. And attack up effect works well with Fran. He's got a little bit of HP here to help him survive. And co-op damage, which is great. But aside from that, nothing else. The Crow you've seen before. He's on the Rage Blade. The game does give you a good set of Rage runes, and you farm giants, you get a good set of Blade runes. These are grinded and gemmed as much as I can, because I do actually use him in a lot of content. There has been a slight change to him. I believe I changed this rune out. No, actually, I believe it might have been this one. It had higher crit rate, or had the same crit rate but more crit damage. I did lose an innate stat, but you know, it is what it is. And then with Mav, he's on Violet. Again, he is going to be the slowest in the team just because I want him to go after everybody and refresh skills. Now, because he's Wind, I want him in the backline behind my tankiest monster, who is going to be Bella. Lapis is water, so she can survive in the front line because the fire monster is gonna glance on her. And I'm sorry that took so long, guys, but let's go ahead and get into the run so you can see that with the stats as where they're at, this team does work. It'll help you start clearing your fire rifts, start getting your crafting materials that you're going to need for your homunculus, or for fight runes, or for determination runes. For the most part, that's all you're really going to do these for, and to get the 50 energy every day. But in phase 1, you can see it's not a whole lot. It's going to be basic. Nobody's going to do anything super amazing. Lapis's skill 3 and skill 1 will deal with the fire minions that are summoned. And if she's on revenge, it's very helpful because sometimes she'll revenge off of the attack and either kill some or bring them down to low levels. The attack buff here allows everybody to deal a little bit more damage. We never got the brand up from Crow, and he's about halfway out of Groggy. There we go, we finally get it. Coming out of here, we want to be around 2.7, I think it is. And obviously we're not going to be there based on this team just because of not getting the brand in the early going of it. So here we're just going to start getting our attacks off. Fire minion summon comes out. It's not a bad thing. There goes Lapis. She kills everything because of Fran's immunity. She doesn't get the attack break on her, which means that if she is she'll use her skill 2. So here she'll have her skill 1 only to use, which is fine. But because there's no attack break on her and Fran gets the attack buff up, she'll probably be... Oh, she had her 3 again. Okay, well, she's able to take out all the waves again, all the minions. And this is a very safe team. We have 2 healers in the form of Fran and Beladion. So that's great. From here, we're going to be trying to up the damage. And one of the best damage dealers that we can get for this for PvE in general is going to be Sigmaris. He's easy to obtain because you fuse him. I think the only thing that you have to summon is the Water Marshal Cat. But again, not something that's impossible to summon. And see, this will put us at just under 3 million, so this means that we'll only get an A+. Oh no, we got an S. Okay, cool. So this team can clear, super safe. We'll get you an S. Not necessary. So now let's go ahead and make our first adjustment to this team. The first adjustment we're going to make actually is we are going to go ahead and put in our Sigmaris. Build a Sigmaris, put him in. Because he's water, he can definitely survive in the front line. This one's on attack, endure, on speed, crit damage, attack. Not all runes are grinded, not all runes are plus 15. Some of them are grinded. I'm not going to say it. Like, this one is actually a pretty decent rune with that 29% attack, but it's very inefficient. So here we got skill 3 accuracy. We got bomb damage, which obviously does a lot for Sigmaris. And we have here co-op damage, which is great because he's going to be getting teamed up with the Rauk and with the Crow. And crit damage taken. I mean, fire monster's probably going to be critting on, or not going to be critting on him a lot. So what we'll do is we can actually keep him. As I said, he is pretty tanky. He's not bad. He's at 18,000, almost 19,000 HP. And almost 800 defense, but that is kind of squishy. So if we look here, we're looking at about 950 defense, 1700 HP. Yeah, it's fine. He should survive in the front. So we'll go ahead and just use this team. Again, these are all rather easily to obtain monsters, and you'll see that this is another very safe team, but it'll deal a little bit more damage, and it should be able to get you into the triple S range. I did mention in the Water Rift Beast video that you do have to start building monsters that are specific for roles. So if you do want to go ahead and get a better score in the Fire Rift Beast, you're gonna have to start building either better AoE attackers or specialized units just for this particular dungeon. And for that, you're gonna have to summon them. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot for this particular boss that you're gonna be able to fuse. I think one option that you have is Susano, who is amazing, but I don't think that he offers enough single target DPS to say that you're going to build him specifically for this. If you do end up building a Susano, you're probably going to end up using him for Guild War content. Either Siege offense, Siege defense, or maybe a very specific niche dungeon team that you might have. Now here, okay, the minions come off, they actually deal some damage to all of us, and if they hit you, that attack from the Fire Rift Beast actually does quite a bit. Here you can see we're all taking damage. We lose a Rauk, but it's great because it actually shows you that even if this team does take damage, even if the team does end up losing a monster, you're fine. You have the tankiness, you have the resilience, and you can actually get through it. So here we'll get Fran to heal back up, and we're well above the 3 million mark now. So now at this point, we're good. Here comes the ultimate attack, which is gonna kill nobody. It came really close, I'm not gonna lie, but again, double heals, we're able to sustain through it and deal a little bit more damage, and that's fine. Into the triple S territory, that's great. And then from here, as I said, you want to build specialized monsters. Well, what's the most specialized monster that you're going to end up building? It's going to be your Tricaru. So we'll start off with a Tricaru. And we won't use this one because he's on fight. But you will want to build one on determination or on guard, right? So I have this one that's on determination. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use this one. I did go ahead and fully skill them up, but this is one of them. Very low accuracy. This is the one that actually, I believe, deals damage on my team. So he's on defense, 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 and of course all of these are fully grinded out. But we'll go ahead and put him in the front line, and because he's going to be tanky, we'll make it just like this. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the fight. And this will be much safer, way more consistent, and you'll see that this is a team that is easily obtainable. You're working your way towards it. There's nothing here that you're specifically building just for this particular dungeon. Sid can help you out in Giants B12, in Dragons B12, in TOA and TOA Hard, and he's really good in the Fire Rift. But he's only really good here because of his AoE attack. His other skills, I believe, they damage on enemy max HP, and although that's amazing in most boss levels, it's not going to do a lot here because that damage is mitigated against the Rift Beast. So here we are. We've substituted one team up attack with another team up attack, and it took us a while again to get the Scar on, but again, this should be alright. Fran just goes crazy, and that's actually going to lower our score. But this is going to be a consistent team that'll get you to you know that you're gonna win. You know that you're not gonna lose. And again, we're gonna keep our skill 3s going with Lapis and with Sigmaris, so they'll be able to go ahead and make sure those fire minions don't get off too many attacks on us. You'll see here that there's a counter attack from Lapis. Her skill 1 was able to kill everything because she had the immunity, so she didn't get the attack break. And going into it here, it looks like we're gonna clear double S, so it's gonna be a consistent team. Of course, the problem here is now we got fire minions up, but our Sig and our Lapis were both stunned, so neither one of them were able to get their neither one of them were able to get their skill 3s off. Lapis dies here. We'll have 1 heal from Fran, 1 heal from Bella, and then they'll bring everybody back. But we have Sig as a secondary AoE that'll kill things. Now on this final attack, we're going to end up probably losing the Fran, maybe the Bella. No, we don't lose anybody. Everybody's too tanky. So there you go. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this helped you out with some idea of how to build a team for the Fire Rift. I did show you guys a very specific way of building free-to-play units. I will go ahead and link in the comments below the team that I used to get the #1 rank in my guild. Feel free to copy. Free field to make comments on what you would use instead. I hope this helped you guys out. Have a good one. Laters.